Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to this session. My name is Ruth and I'm project lead for Mortic and I work at Acquia. And in this session, I'm going to be exploring a bit about the future of digital experiences, some of the challenges that we face in implementing them, and also looking at how open source is helping us face those challenges. So the world as we know it has fundamentally changed. People who used to shop in brick and mortar stores have been forced to get digital. They've been forced to buy online during these times of lockdown. Whole swathes of the population who've never purchased anything online are now doing their grocery shopping, their gift shopping, even booking their haircuts online. And companies who previously had put digital transformation on the back seat have been forced to prioritize or risk literal collapse as a result of this global pandemic and our shift in expectations. And those expectations are forever changed. While we may have been willing to give companies the benefit of the doubt and accept waiting in digital queues for 2 hours while their overloaded systems struggled to keep up, the patience is wearing thin, and consumers will just go elsewhere if your digital experiences are not up to their expectations. So it's clear to me that what lies ahead for digital experience is quite different. It's different even from what we might have envisioned 12 months ago, before the global pandemic forced the world into digital ways of working that we could never have anticipated. Our patterns of behaviour have fundamentally shifted, and this has changed both what's important to the customer and what they're expecting from you. Simply allowing someone to have the same experience as a complete newcomer to your brand is no longer acceptable. Telling a customer about offers on products they've already purchased, not knowing about their past interactions with your brand, these don't work anymore. Expectations of the digital experience has evolved. And if you're not evolving as a business to meet those expectations, you're going to start to struggle. And now, more than ever, consumers are expecting relevance, empathy, and convenience at every interaction with your brand. They expect experiences to be consistent across the channels they engage with you on, and they expect you to know and value them, particularly if they've already shared information with you or if they have an existing relationship with your brand. They also expect you to be sensitive to their needs and put them in the driving seat when it comes to the interactions that they have with your brand. So put simply, digital agility is now a survival skill. It's survival of the fittest. If you haven't been flexing your digital muscles and getting stronger during this time, you're going to fall behind. You have to be able to pivot quickly to respond to change, which is coming at an ever increasing pace. So I wanted to share some of my thoughts on the vision for the future of digital experiences, but also why I think we're not quite there yet and what we can do about that. So my vision for digital experiences of the future is that they'll stop being about online being here, offline being here. There'll be a digital layer that spans all experiences. Moving between environments will be completely frictionless. You'll be able to browse on a website, add things to a basket, and then send a request to the store to try them on. And then when you arrive at the store, they're ready for you. You'll be greeted by name. The attendant will also be able to show you where other items are located that you're interested in case you wanted to check those out as well. Maybe you bought something and that didn't quite work out. You'll be able to quickly and painlessly engage with the company, organize a return or replacement, in-store or digitally, delivered to your door with no stress. If you're a loyal customer, maybe you're able to jump the queue and get the refund or replacement prioritized. Maybe you're traveling to a new town on business. Your app will let you know where the nearest branch is of your favorite coffee shop and give you directions to get there from the train station when you arrive. And this one for me would be amazing. If you're needing to get from one end of an airport terminal to the other to catch a flight, maybe in a few months when travel starts up again, hopefully, fingers crossed, one button press on your phone could enable proximity sensors to detect where you are when you disembark the plane And then digital signage throughout the airport would guide you through the terminal, taking the least busy route at that time, making sure you get to your connections on time. Maybe even with an audio element on headphones if you're visually impaired or prefer to receive the information in audio rather than visual. But fundamental to the growth of these customer-centric and frictionless digital experiences is trust. Trust is the currency of the marketer of the future. It flows between the consumer and the business in every interaction. And the trust-rich businesses are the ones that are going to thrive and grow because they can do so much more. We are in the business of building trusted relationships and delivering meaningful value in return. And that leads me on to the next vision for the future of digital experiences. Personalization using hello first name is so last century, as they say. In the future, even happening now in some businesses like the one you see here, personalization will add real functional value to the customer. In my case, being rather clueless when it comes to fashion, this website lets me share my personal information, so my physical shape, my colouring, styles, colours I like, things I'd never be seen dead wearing, things I'd love to wear all the time. And then it pulls all this together to come up with advice on the kind of styles that would suit my body shape. The most useful for a time-poor shopper like me is entire outfits that are configured and tailored to my profile and my likes. So in just 2 clicks, I can say, right, I need to go out for a special occasion. Here are 4 outfits to choose from. Click, add to cart, boom. Outfit sorted, no stress, no fuss, just really good service. And because now I've trusted them, because they've given me something of value, and they know that my size and the kind of things that I like, and also where I'm likely to be buying, they can use that information to personalize my experience. So maybe I might see models on the website showing clothes wearing roughly the same size as me. Maybe I only see things in promotions that are actually available in my size. But there's also the option for me to turn off that personalization if I don't want to see it at any time. So there's value to me, but I'm also in the driving seat and I can control the personalization. And I also believe that one of the most fundamental things we've seen as a result of this global pandemic, and I mentioned this a bit before, is the importance of being able to notice changes in behavior and take action quickly to respond to those changes in behavior. Pretty soon, with the vaccine being rolled out in several countries, hopefully we will start to emerge from the grips of this worldwide lockdown. The world as we know it will have changed. What worked before probably won't work now. People's shopping and buying behavior will have changed. Businesses are going to have to change the way they're engaging with their customer base digitally. They're going to have to do this empathetically and with awareness of the situation to bring people back into the stores. If you can't make quick, decisive changes to the way that you're engaging with customers and managing your marketing processes, you're really going to struggle to deliver effective digital experiences in the future. Who knows what's around the next corner? It's imperative that we have the ability to change and take action fast. So what's stopping us at the moment from delivering these digital experiences here and now? I've seen many cases where businesses are simply blocked from delivering an effective digital experience. There are a few reasons why, so let's dig into some of the most common ones I've seen and the reasons behind this blockage. The biggest issue by far that I've seen is not having a true understanding of customers. How can you truly meet a customer where they are and deliver a personalized, engaging digital experience if you don't have a full picture of how they engage with you across all of your channels, online and offline? Typically what we see is people have a good idea of who's opening emails, maybe even tying that into what they're doing on the website. But that's often where it stops. There's often no tie-up with, for example, that information and your call center or your returns processing team. Or the sales team can't see how the customer's been engaging with the marketing campaigns when they're on the phone to them. Maybe they can't even see open support cases or past history of purchases in store. But why? Why is this happening? Almost always the problem is that systems are operating in data silos. They're not fully connected to every part of the business, or there's no one centralized place you go to see everything about the customer. You have to log into the email system to see what they did there and the support system to check the status of the cases. And maybe none of those are tied into the marketing data or the advertising information. A classic example of this, and I've experienced this myself, digital ads, which are often powered by anonymous identity data, but you can tie them into your marketing information. So you could pass information to those systems about identified customers, like what they have already purchased in store. So money is not wasted advertising products that they've already purchased, or products that you know that a customer probably isn't interested in buying. These disconnected systems are all too common, and they make it really, really hard for marketers to gain the insights they need about customers to deliver the right experiences. So why does this happen? Like, how do we get to this place where we have so much disconnection and siloed working? Well, in many small and medium-sized businesses, it can often be due to the reactive nature of we need all the things to do, all the things and we need them now approaches. Things tend to be brought on stream to address a specific problem without having a big picture of how everything needs to work together. I have been there, I have worn this t-shirt, and I felt the pain of having to try and find ways to tie these systems together after they've been running for several years so that we can get this unified customer view of what is happening across all of the different channels. It is painful, let me tell you that. So what can we do to avoid it? Well, to create effective digital experiences that span the digital divide, it's important that we start by focusing on the customer and the data rather than the outcomes that we want to achieve. Oh, there we go. So the overemphasis on outcomes has taken us away from what is really the most important thing, the data about the consumer that's driving the engagement in the first place. How effective can the personalized email be if you don't really know who the customer is that receives it? Delivering the digital experiences of the future, which our customers are coming to expect and demand, requires a complete change in mindset. It requires you to take a data and customer focused approach to marketing, which allows you to unlock the intelligence you have with all your customer data, ensures the accuracy and relevance of that data, and gives you the direct ability to engage with customers using that data. So how do we go about fixing these digital experiences? Or maybe if you're brand new and you're just thinking about how do I actually deliver these digital experiences in the future? How do I get it right the first time? Well, as I've already mentioned, we absolutely have to think about the customer and the data first. Everything needs to revolve around this. Digital can no longer be something that's like bolted onto a business, an afterthought, some department that does the website in a pokey little corner of the office. If businesses are to survive and thrive, the whole business model and the strategy need to live and breathe based on the data and have the customer at the center of every business decision. At John Lewis, for example, a big chain in the UK, they have a huge user experience lab, and it's physically located right at the heart of their building in London, which is involving actual customers on a daily basis in research projects and interviews. And people have to walk around and through it all the time, so they're constantly engaging with customers. That's an amazing way of literally, figuratively putting the customer right at the heart of your company. So obviously, with the emphasis on data, it's becoming really important to have a single centralized source of truth for the customer profile. We're starting to refer to this as the Customer Data Platform, or CDP. Every single person in your company should be able to drop in to one single interface and see everything that they're able to access from every part of the business that's relevant to what they do about the customer they're interacting with. Increasingly, this is becoming possible with the growth of tooling in the area, which I'll come on to, but this is probably the most important part of delivering effective, personalized, and engaging digital experiences across every touch point. Next, and this is where I'm seeing Drupal making huge progress, is making sure that the tools that are available to the marketer enable the digital agility that we talked about as being so essential for survival. No longer can you expect your marketers to wait weeks for a business analyst to pull off a list for a marketing campaign or months for a landing page to be built. You just can't wait that long anymore. Simplifying the tools with a focus on delivering a top-notch user experience, as Dries mentioned in his Dries note yesterday, is hugely important. If we enable and empower the marketer to get on with their job, to respond with changes quickly and effectively, to personalize the experience based on the customer using that single source of truth that we just mentioned and the data that we have available to us, the entire business machine will move more effectively. The customer experience will start to exceed their expectations and delight them. And delighted customers tell their friends and generate more customers. And finally, of course, the actual marketing process itself. So I'm the project lead for Mortic, and we're an open source marketing automation platform. We allow marketers to engage on multiple channels and plan personalization campaigns using simple drag and drop interfaces that enable the delivery of those personalized experiences of the future that we've been talking about. No more going off to MailChimp for your emails and Twilio for your SMS and going to your CRM for your sales data. Bring all of that information together in one place. Have an orchestration tool that lets you use that information and then reach out into all the channels that you use and watch the impact that brings to your customers and to your business. So to wrap up, in order to deliver effective digital experiences of the future, we need to have a customer and data-driven strategy which seeks to understand and deliver meaningful value to the customer. We need a single unified customer profile, which is the single source of truth for the customer information, and tools that are effective and easy to use, letting us deploy resources quickly and effectively. We need a marketing orchestration tool or tools that allow us to personalize the same information across multiple channels from one place. And if we put all of these in place, we start small and we iteratively build on our successes with personalizing those digital experiences. We can really deliver those experiences. We can delight our customers, and that results in tangible business growth. So we're probably all here because in some way we have an interest in open source. So how is open source helping us to deliver those digital experiences of the future? It's helping us in several ways. Firstly, and probably the most obvious, is the range of open source solutions that are out there that allow you to do the things we've been talking about. We have the likes of Drupal, WordPress, Joomla, Typo3, which all allow you to build and quickly deploy personalized digital experiences. Tools like Mortic and Pimcore that allow you to deliver personalized automated marketing across multiple channels. And customer data platforms like Unomi, which allow you to develop a single source of truth for the customer profile, which can then be integrated with all of the tools in your stack. This truly is bringing the power of open source to the masses. It's bringing these tools to people and enabling them to do these digital experiences where in the past you probably would not have been able to. These tools simply did not exist 5, 10 years ago. And it really is making a huge difference to the industry, particularly small and medium-sized businesses, but also at the enterprise end. And it's also been great to see the focus on reducing complexity for users in the Dries note yesterday, as I think this is one area where many open source projects often don't prioritize, particularly early in their stages of development. But what we're seeing is an increase in low code and no code solutions, an increase in interactive drag and drop page builders and other similar tools, which enable the end user of tools like Drupal to work directly with that tool, to make it easier for them to create new landing pages or update resources or deliver new personalizations to a new segment. In Mortic, we're also trying really hard to improve our own email builder and landing page builder, which haven't had much love for several years. They work, but they're not particularly easy to use. And we're doing all of this work to reduce the complexity and make it easier for people to do what they need to do in their job to be successful. And then finally, with the increase in open source and the increased awareness of the power of open source, we're seeing a great increase in integrations being available. We're seeing tools developing API interfaces, opening up the ability to connect tools with each other. Businesses are becoming wise to the challenges I mentioned earlier about those disconnected systems, and they're demanding that the interfaces all be connected with the tools they use. The open ecosystem is driving a lot of this change, and it's really helping us to move forward as an industry towards a more integrated, streamlined digital experience delivery capability. So before we close out the session, I wanted to talk a bit about how you folk as Drupalists can be a part of shaping these digital experiences. So over the past years, we've had several Drupal contributors joining the Mortic community, and I'm a real believer in the value of cross-project pollination, as I call it. We've had lots of new ideas coming in, and as a new open source community, we're also borrowing ideas for how you do things, which is helping us to grow faster. So working together with other open source communities and projects is a great way of accelerating change in these digital tools. We've had some really great suggestions, like how to improve composer support in Mortic's core, for example, based on how it works in Drupal, which is one of our strategic initiatives for the coming year. And we're working on a few other projects, like implementing a suite of tests using Cypress end-to-end tests, and working on a new builder, as I mentioned, using the Grape.js framework. I would also love to see us improving the Drupal integrations so that it's quick and easy for people to work effectively with those two tools alongside each other. We'd absolutely welcome you to come and help us with growing and developing Mortic and the Drupal integrations, whatever your skill set or interests. And we also hope in the future there'll be a two-way flow. So we'll be able to share some ideas and suggestions with the Drupal project from our experiences in the Mortic community. And perhaps one of the biggest changes that we're making to enable the digital experiences of the future is next generation Mortic, which we announced last month in MorticCon. So this is a ground up rewrite of Mortic from Symfony 5. We're going to be overhauling our architecture, implementing the API platform with a front end decoupled using React. It's a huge project. It's something we're going to be working on for a good couple of years. But our aim with this is making Mortic much easier to integrate with any tool or any Martech stack, allowing you to either use the interface that ships with Mortic and the data layer that ships with Mortic, or to take those out, run with your own, and just use Mortic for the marketing automation, which allows you to seamlessly integrate the tool with whatever you're using at the moment in your business. So we'd also really love your insights and experiences along the way with this project. If you'd like to get involved with either of those, you can join us on Slack. You can get an invitation at mortic.org/Slack, and we'd love to hear from you. So to conclude, the future of digital experiences is super exciting. It's also quite challenging. We have some technical challenges we need to overcome, and also businesses have strategic challenges that they need to face if they're going to be ready to deliver these personalized digital experiences across channels. But first and foremost, I truly believe that the future of digital experiences is open. It's about open source tools and technologies and ways of working, enabling anybody to be successful. And you and me, we're all part of that. We are all contributing to the digital experiences of the future. And that's really cool. Well, I think it's really cool anyway. So my name's Ruth Cheesley. As I mentioned, I'm the project lead for Mortic at Acquia. You can reach out to me by email, on social media, or I'll be around at the event today if you want to connect or chat or talk about anything that I've raised during this session. I'll be sharing my slide deck on my notice page in case you want to refer back to it or have a look at any of the slides. So yeah, all that's left for me now is to ask if there's any questions that I can answer.
Great. So I don't see any questions yet in the discussion chat, but I do have a question for you. And in the meantime, I'd like to ask the participants that are in here to for sure put your question in the Q&A or in the discussion chat section. So, Ruth, what do you think is the most important part to enable delivering these digital experiences of the future? Like, what do we really have to take away home after this session and bring back into our company, whether it's an agency or something else, to start that change?
Yeah, I mean, I think the most important thing is having a centralized source of information for the customer. So it's having that single customer profile where every other piece of data you have about your customers, whether it's from the point of sales in store, whether it's from your website, whether it's from marketing campaigns, is all in one place, because that unlocks so much potential of being able to understand, being able to segment, being able to validate your hypotheses and theories and then act on that. So I think that's probably the most important part of all of the things that I've mentioned.
Great. So hopefully we can take that back to the companies that we work for, or as a freelancer to take that back to our clients will be certainly a challenge. And then maybe also because then we're talking about clients, they're the end user ultimately. How do you go about building those trusted relationships with customers, and not only our clients ourselves, but their clients?
Yeah, I mean, from my experience, both as a consumer and as a business owner in the past, my learning from this whole process is like trust is something that is best given in small doses. And so I think the whole process of building a trusted relationship has to start small, but deliver value for what you ask, and then iteratively offer more value in exchange for more information. And then as people start to see that it's worthwhile, like in my case, being able to log onto that website and quickly grab an outfit for an event that I've probably forgotten to get something to wear for in 10 minutes, it's a huge benefit to me. And so I'm willing to share personal information with them that I may not share otherwise. But it's taken several years for me to get to that point. I probably wouldn't do that with an organization that I'm brand new to. So it's also understanding and interpreting where someone is in that trust relationship with you and what's appropriate to ask at that point.
Okay, great. And then maybe the question that everybody is also maybe has on their mind. You're the quote unquote the Dries of the Mortic project.
Yeah.
And both you and Dries work with or for the same company. So how often do you brainstorm about taking over the web into the open web in secret?
There's not much that happens in secret, actually. Personally, I default to transparency unless there's a really good reason not to. But I do think that it is important that we're thinking about the open web and kind of what Drews was talking about in his keynote. Like, it's becoming increasingly important, particularly when there are challenges to those principles that are starting to adopt and get mainstream interest. To just, yeah, someone has to stand up for open. Yeah.
Oh, great. I don't see a lot of other questions in the chat, so
I can see a couple in the Q&A. So there's one that says, often customers just do not know what they really want. They say things like, I like to be the next Apple or product X. What could be done to help such customers out if they are not able to draw a picture of what they really need or want as a digital experience? Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, I think there are people out there who are real experts in strategy and digital transformation. And if you've got a company that maybe are not digital and they're looking to move into digital, I would say, bringing in someone who's an expert in that area would be sensible from that perspective. If it's a new company and they're like, we want to be Apple, or we want to be like this product, we want to build that product, I think it comes down to like, well, why would you think people would buy that rather than Apple? Like, it's really like narrowing down to the unique selling point. And making clear how that fits in the digital experience. If you're looking at a product where they don't have a very good digital experience and you think you could corner the market by leveraging that, then great. But I guess that's a business strategy discussion, really. Yeah, so that would be my thoughts on that.
Great that you saw the Q&A, because I didn't see anything in my browser, so that's good that you spotted that. And I see another question from Roy. There's one more question from Roy, I see. I don't know if you see that as well.
Yeah, so we heard a lot about different Drupal Mortic integrations and agencies in this DrupalCon starting to build modules. Is there an official roadmap for basic modules or distribution? For Drupal, there isn't an official roadmap per se, but I think it would be helpful to have either to have the ecosystem in the Drupal.org projects, so you can see all of the things and what they do, or just to bring everyone together and say, would it be better actually doing this all in one plugin or condensing it down? If anyone would be interested in helping us with that, that would be awesome, because I think at the moment it's just people have been creating things to kind of scratch their own itch as Mortic has grown. You know, as a project, we're like 5-6 years in, so we're still quite a new project compared to the 20-odd-year-old Drupal. We're toddlers. So we're still getting going with things like this. Maybe you could speak to that, Nick, a bit, actually, because I know you've done some work on the Drupal integrations.
From what I understand, there's 2 modules out there already. One is the Mortic module that adds the tracking script, which is an easy way to start. Alternatively, a lot of people use Google Tag Manager, I think, to add tracking scripts. And then there's the Mortic paragraph module that allows you to embed any form from Mortic in Drupal, similar to web forms. But I think it would be great to have all the people interested in Mortic on the Mortic Slack. There's also a Drupal channel in Slack, and start discussing on what should this roadmap look like. For example, there's a lot of other things that Mortic is able to do, like focus items and little conversion helpers for like pop-ups and here and there. I think another initiative that could be cross-platform is a privacy initiative.
Absolutely.
So on that regard, there's a lot of work still to do on both sides, both Drupal and Mortic. And none of that is really like a technical discussion, but more like how do you implement some framework between the two to make sure that we can help you comply with that law. But that's those are tricky questions, and I don't think anyone has the real answer, but we can provide tools and stuff. Yeah, that's my take on it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think also sometimes it just takes bringing people together around an idea and then shepherding it into something like a roadmap in order for innovation to start flowing. You know, and people say, well, how about this? And I'd like to do this in Drupal. You know, some things that we might not have thought about before. So I'm definitely all for people getting involved and having a chat about what would be helpful or what's missing maybe. Great. So if anyone wants to join Slack, you can go to Mortic, so that's mautic.org/Slack, and then you can put your email address in and get an invitation. As Nick mentioned, there's the Drupal channel. We also have a bunch of initiatives we're working on. Some of them I mentioned. They all start with I and then hyphen, and our teams all start with T and then hyphen. So you're welcome to join those as well. So great. Are there any more questions? Anyone else got anything they would like to ask or know? Okay. I guess we're done then. All right. Thank you everyone for joining the session. As I said, I'll be available in the event over the day today. So do give me a shout if you'd like to chat further or connect with me online. That'd be great to hear from you.
Thank you, Ruth, for the session.
Thank you.